Good morning and happy Sunday. I'm excited, as you may be able to tell by my background. I am in Bali again, and this is such an exciting time of the year because most of us are thinking in terms of what we're going to do differently in the next year. So as we are looking forward to a new year, I got to thinking about what I might be talking about today. And I may totally offend some of you because I'm going to approach things very differently. For those of you who know me personally, you know that I'm kind of strange. I'm really, I'm not necessarily the norm. And I'm left-handed, maybe that's my thing. However, I was always a goal setter. And are any of you goal setters? That seems to be a real key word at this time of the year, to set our goals for what we are going to do next, what we are going to do differently. And in looking and assessing what I have done in my lifetime, I was a great goal setter. I'm one of those people who's a super achiever. I would set goals, I would put blinders on, and I would go towards those goals, and I would accomplish them and check them off the list. And what I've noticed is that when I accomplished the goal, instead of feeling wonderful, most of those times it was like, okay, what's next? Can any of you identify with that? Well, Francis, the math teacher, sat down and spent some time talking with the source and thinking about why that might have been the result, the outcome. And I realized that most of the time, the times that I really did not feel pumped up when I reached a goal was because it was not really my goal. It was a goal that either I felt others expected of me, or it was a goal that I was told I should accomplish. Not just expected, but you should. Oh, don't we hate that word? So I have attempted to remove that word from my vocabulary. So I decided that for me, and it may not apply to you at all, but I decided that for me, when I think about my priorities in the moment, my actions may be quite different from what it is when I'm focusing on that goal that was set. Can any of you see what I'm talking about? That focusing on the priorities, for me, most of my life, it was about setting that goal, moving towards that goal, and not letting anything deter me along the way. What I have found in my golden years, if you will, is that it's more important to focus on the priorities of the moment. And the priorities of the moment may change. Now, it may seem as if we'll never accomplish those goals. And it's true. The goal that you may have set may not end up being where you're going. However, it may be, as it has been in my life, when I started looking at things a little differently, it may be that the result has been far more beautiful, more meaningful than anything that I could have set as a goal previously. So by looking at those priorities on a daily, momentarily basis, it has changed my actions so that I truly was doing the things that were the most important to me at any given moment. Now, again, if you're in a job, there are certain things you have to do. However, on your own time, you can do things the way you choose to do. That's one of the things I love most about Young Living. I love a lot of things about Young Living and being a part of the Young Living culture, because it's about understanding who you are and being more of who you are. This goes right along with my rainbow healing cards, which is why I guess it excites me so much. However, it also, I have maintained my passion. I've been a member of Young Living for 20 years now, 20 years. And actually, I'm giving you a preview of what I will probably talk about when I record my video for Dr. Winker's symposium. I have to do that this month, because the topic he gave me was how to maintain your passion over time. And my passion has grown because I am doing things that truly make my heart sing. Now, it's kind of impossible for us to do those things unless we know what makes our heart sing. Would you agree? So that's part of that self-discovery. And I selected a whole lot of oils today, as I said. And I'm going to just kind of go through them explaining. I chose blends mostly because the names of the blend really kind of tell a story. And as I'm picking them up, I'm thinking of what I will say about them. Why did I choose that particular blend? Well, I started with one that I normally don't start with. However, I started in my meditation this morning, I started with present time, because to me, present time is the most important thing we have. It's the only moment that we have. Would you agree? The past is over. The future is what we create today. And incidentally, I skip around. The card that I selected this morning was fire. And fire is all about creation, action, change, transformation. So I'm dressed in my orange, my fiery orange, with my glyphs around me to remind me that that is my focus for the day. However, it is for the day, the moment, to remain in this present moment, thinking of what my priorities are in this moment, not yesterday, because things could have changed during the night, not tomorrow, but what are the most important things to me right this moment. So the next oil that I chose is one that has been out of stock for a long time, which I do have. Singapore has had it until I just went into my essential rewards and see that it is no longer available. Balsam fir. However, we also have the Idaho blue spruce, the Northern Lights black spruce. Any of the blends, grounding blend would be a great choice. I just couldn't put my hands on grounding this morning. So I chose Idaho blue spruce, Idaho balsam fir instead. But whatever it is, why would we choose grounding? Because it is so important for us to be grounded in this moment, to be connected with our Creator, our source, listening to our guidance in this present moment. And as I said several times already, that guidance may change from moment to moment, affecting our priorities. Because as we are doing one thing or another, things can change. Now, that's something that was not something I allowed in the past. So, allowing for change, being willing to adjust your sails rather than charging ahead just because that's what your goal said to do. Am I making sense? I hope. So we're going to be grounded. And then next, this is one I sneaked in there because it was sitting on the vanity this morning on Stephen's side, and it's just about empty. We don't want this to run out. Fun. Because one of the priorities that I'm choosing to carry forward into every moment, every day, every hour, every month of the coming year is fun. Fun is something that seems to be, we've forgotten to add to our lives for most of us because we're so achievement oriented and we're so stressed over accomplishing our goals that we forget to have fun. So fun is going to be a blend. I'm so excited that I can order multiples of fun, and I intend to have lots of fun in my life in the coming year. And the next thing that I intend to do is to forgive myself. This is the forgiveness blend. Because we're so hard on ourselves. Have you ever noticed how we judge ourselves so harshly? Things that we did that we think were not good enough. Things that we did not do that we feel like we should have done. We should ourselves a lot. So the fact is, it's over. That issue is over. So let's forgive ourselves and enjoy and have fun in this moment, creating whatever is going to happen in the next moment, simply by focusing on our priorities of this particular moment. We can create an absolutely amazing tomorrow, next week, next month, and next year. So, the next blend that I chose to talk about was freedom. Free of the past. If you don't have the freedom blend, you may choose to use lemon, which anchors an energy of letting go, an energy of release. That freedom you feel when you release all of those expectations, all of those self-limiting beliefs, and when you are free of the past. So I will use the freedom blend because it's sitting here, even though I have both. Anyone who has ever been around me knows that I carry a lot of oils. I always have a lot of oils with me. They are everywhere. And they're everywhere not because they're on display, but rather because they're in use at all times. So, what would be the next step as far as I'm concerned? Well, believe. If you believe in what you're doing, your belief will create the outcome. If you believe you cannot do something, you're probably going to be correct. So believe. Believe that it can happen. And of course we know I pour it over my head because I like to shower myself with believe. And I truly believe that there will be a positive outcome in every situation if we are focusing on our priorities rather than expectations of others. I'm going to say that again. I fully believe that there will be a positive outcome in every situation when we focus on our priorities of the moment rather than the expectations of others. Well, I told you this would be different. So, now, what are we going to do next? Well, I'm going to light the fire. Now, I have Light the Fire blend right here. I also have orange essential oil, which anchors that energy of fire, the energy of change, the energy of transformation. That might be another blend that you may choose to apply to allow for change. How often do we know that we really feel and believe that a change would be positive, yet fear prevents us from taking that action, that first step that would be necessary for the change to start that chain of events, lighting the match that starts the fire of transformation. Fire can destroy. It can also regenerate and rejuvenate. As I was doing my cards this morning, the part of the fire element that came up for me was youthing, because regenerating. And that sounds really exciting to me, that's going to be, my intent was, my focus for today and moving into 2019. Youthing. Now, we all know I'm old. However, I'm planning to be older. So I want to be healthy, and I am choosing to get younger rather than older. I have a great role model in Kathmandu who's, we don't know exactly, but somewhere close to 120 years old. And he's still walking around and smiling and telling jokes. I don't understand his jokes because they're in Balinese. However, I do understand his energy. So we're going to allow for change rather than charging ahead just because we had set a particular goal. Okay? So one thing I do choose to keep in my mind, another thing, is to reach my highest potential in every moment. Now, our highest potential may be different. Not just maybe, it will be different on different moments. And it's not about being the greatest that there could ever be. It's about being the best that we can be in this moment. And that would come from doing the things that we feel are the most important, our priorities. Now, I keep saying that word over and over, and I have talked about priorities a lot over the last year in these Facebook Lives every Sunday. And I write mine down in my phone. Oh, don't we? How did we ever exist before we had all of these smartphones? I write my priorities down, and I write them down several times a day and revamp them. I readjust them because I'm choosing to focus on what the priority of the moment is. Sometimes when I wake up in the morning and my priorities seem very clear, they do change quite quickly. So that again is that change. And I was not one who liked to change for the greatest part of my life. I liked to plan, carry out the plan, and move on, and do it quickly. So I am learning. Stephen constantly reminds me that I need to slow down, that you know, when the tight string does not play, the loose string does not play, or the tight string squeaks. In other words, the stressed one. And it's the middle string that gives the beautiful results. So I am consistently attempting to reach that balance, that middle string. I feel like a slug many times because I feel that I have slowed down to that point that I'm doing nothing. However, when I assess my priorities and I then take a glimpse back, I realize that more has been accomplished than I realized. It just was being accomplished without all of that stress of planning so much. So, the next thing that I intend to have in my life, moving forward, this is very, very important thing to me and has been for so many years, and that is harmony. Harmony in my life, in every aspect of my life. I don't like confrontations. I don't like stressful things. I like harmony. So I'm intending that harmony be a part of every moment moving into 2019. If I am being the best that I can be in the moment and achieving harmony within, there will be harmony around me. And that is what I'm choosing to move forward to. So I have, a couple of more that I do have sitting here, because another thing that I would really like to do is I have the loyalty blend. How many of you have that loyalty blend that we can't buy, but we can receive as a special gift from Young Living? And I intend to be loyal not only to others, but I'm intending to be loyal to myself. Okay, shall I say that again? I am intending to be loyal to myself. To remember that I am worth it, and that when I make decisions, that they are in line with being loyal to me, to Frances, as well as loyal to others. Then again, that's that priority again. Most of us have put ourselves on a very low priority much of our lives. And perhaps it's time that we might be able to move up into a higher priority. And then the last thing that I'm going to mention, because it was also sitting on the vanity this morning and I picked it up. I said, Stephen, is it okay if I bring your higher unity? How many of you received higher unity with your Essential Rewards order this month? This is a beautiful blend. One of these last two, loyalty and higher unity, were two of the last blends that Gary Young created. And neither one of them, was created with a profit in mind, but rather a reason for creating the blend. And this higher unity, for us to achieve that feeling of everything in our lives working together in harmony and unity. So I challenge you as you move forward into 2019 to think about your priorities rather than your goals. No one needs to know what your priorities are. This is purely for you. However, write them down, pay attention, watch them change, and allow for the change. Have a beautiful celebration of the new year, and I'll see you next Sunday.